And Muay Thai, for whatever reason, I mean, you go to Muay Thai events and they're rabid, and it's like a very deep community of people that really understand and appreciate the sport.
Yeah.
And they'll play the Thai music, and they wear all the Mong Kong on their head. They bow to their trainer, and they go out there,
bicep,
and they're fucking throwing elbows and smashing and kicking legs, and it's amazing to watch.
Same thing as kickboxing, more or less, Muay Thai?
It's the hardest. It's the hardest of all of them.
More elite version of kickboxing.
Yeah, because it's elbows and knees and a lot of clinch work and a lot of dumping where they trip you and slam you to the ground, and they kick you on the way down too. They'll like if you're they'll throw you into the ropes, and if you're still on your way down, you get punted in the head.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, and it's legal. It's a hard sport, man. It's just, you feel as hard as it comes.
I don't know. You feel like we could get people to get behind. I mean, even for me,
you would have to have some sort of an epic change in the way we view things, but. To me, it's way more exciting than football. Like, if those football players all decided to do Muay Thai, it would be better for their brains, believe it or not, to be a fighter. And two, you would see these elite athletes fucking smashing each other like that.
Let's talk about that.
It'd be incredible.
I've never really understood the argument of, like, pitting this person against that person, or like, who's got the best Muay Thai and MMA? Well, nobody, because they're not doing Muay Thai.
They're doing MMA.
Right. So that argument, that conversation is completely invalid. Like, oh, if you put this boxer in against this Muay Thai fighter, who's going to win? I don't know, what rules are they fighting under? They're fighting under Muay Thai rules. He's probably going to get crushed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The thing about roundhouse kicks and any kicks in general is people try to do them like fast. You really want to learn them slow. You want to learn, like, you got to resist the urge to try to hit things. What you really want to do is just go through the motion, just go through the motion, just slow, and do that for a long period of time, like many, many, many weeks.
Okay.
Before these guys try to like, and then you wind up kicking up, and you put all the strain on your ligaments and your supporting leg because you're not pivoting. They fuck themselves, and then it's hard to unlearn that. See, when you learn something, if you learn it wrong, like when I used to teach, the worst students were students that learned something wrong. You would think like, oh, I already have 5 years of karate and this and that, and I'm like, oh, great, this should be good. It was never good. It was the opposite. You're better off taking a young kid with no experience at all. They can get way better, way faster because they don't have any bad habits. Because as soon as you get nervous or as soon as you get tired, you go right back to your bad habits. You go back to your, so you have to relearn everything.
Yeah, it was seeing the kids. I went to some of the fights out there, and it's wild seeing the kids in the undercard where you're seeing 7-year-olds.
It's crazy, right?
Fighting. And you're like, this is wrong, but I got to see the main event too, so I can't leave.
It's their culture. It is. It feels wrong, but it's their culture, and it's also how a lot of the families make money. I mean, they literally send their kid off to the camp.
But I was trying to figure out, and so it's part of the culture. It's national sport, but it doesn't seem. You have people. It's some fighters that are legends there. There's the equivalent to Mike Tyson or something, and you could probably get a private with them for $400.
Yep.
So what's going on with the model over there, where it's been a national sport for a while, but it seems like the money isn't there? Is it corruption, or what happened?
Well, first of all, it's very inexpensive to go to the fights. You know that. Everything's inexpensive in Thailand. And, I mean, everybody's wearing flip-flops, right? It's an interesting place. Like, my friend John Wayne Parr went there when he was a boy. He was a young teenager and lived there. Lived as a monk. You know, he's a Australian multiple-time world Muay Thai champion. And he spent, like, a good deal of his time growing up there and really embrace the culture. And he's like, they're just, first of all, it's the land of smiles. Like, everyone's friendly. Like, one of the things I noticed there, like, people are genuinely very friendly. There's very little materialism there. People are generally happy with, like, wearing a pair of shorts. It's never cold out, so you could wear shorts and flip-flops, and that's how everybody's walking around. And I don't think there's a lot of money in the business. Okay, so that when they're running, are they running like organized, like in a group, or are they just, is everybody running a few miles before class every time?
The first Muay Thai gym that I trained at, the straight Muay Thai gym in Bangkok, they run as a unit every day, 5 a.m.
Wow.
As a team. They live at the gym, they eat at the gym, they sleep at the gym. They are. Like, they don't have homes. Their home is the gym, and their
Yeah.
job is just fight and eat, sleep, train, fight. That's it.
It's crazy when they even take on the name of the gym.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's a whole different life. Like, that is what made me respect and learn and love Muay Thai so much, is how these guys trained and just they lived together, everything. It was amazing. So they run as a group, but the other place, we all start off, but if someone's lapping you and they just want to run fast, like, it's totally fine. But before the class, everybody has to go. Yeah.
Wow, that's a smart way to do it, man. I mean, if you could really convince them to be conditioned all the time, and there's no, like, you have no option. You can't be out of condition if you're going to run 5 miles every day.
No, 5 miles and then hitting and kicking pads for 5 to 10 rounds a day, clinching 45 minutes a day. Like, clinching after every session, it's like you run, knee bag, sit-ups, all that stuff. Second session is kick the bag 3 to 5 rounds until a trainer picks you up. Like, for me, I had to wait for a trainer to actually even, like, want to hold pads for me. If you just show up, you'll just be hitting the bag until a trainer was like, hey, okay, I'll hold for you. And then once you actually find a trainer that wants to work with you, then you kind of, whatever their schedule is for you, they'll create it. They'll hold pads, you'll kick the bag, you'll do push-ups, you'll do sit-ups, and then clinch 30 to 45 minutes after, and it's the same thing every single day.
Wow. And do you ever worry that this might be something that would be monotonous because you're doing the same way every day, or do you think we just concentrate on excellence?
No, because it's also like going to the fights, and there's so many different styles. So, like, people are doing the same thing every day, the repetition, but the styles are completely different. You know, like, nobody fights like Sanchai, right? He does the same thing everybody else does, but he has his own style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or some guys will do the same thing, but they don't even like to kick or knee. They just like to throw elbows. I know plenty of guys like that, where they just, like, you know that when he goes, he's just throwing elbows all 5 rounds.
Yeah.
This guy's just going to throw knees. So it's just like, which tools do you use the best? Like, are you a kneer? Are you a kicker? Are you an elbow guy? Are you a left kick? Are you a low kicker? It's kind of like, which strikes are your thing, and then you go watch the chaos, and these guys are getting split open every night. Fucking on the stretchers, they take them stretchers on the ring, man. It's amazing. Wow. It's like, not to see someone get hurt, but, like, just the fact that, like, these guys are all out brawling every night. Every single night there's a fight at the stadium, and Thursday nights are the nights that the higher guys go, and they're packed with people, thousands of people. Like, the one I went to, there was a few thousand people there for the stadium. It looked packed, and everyone's betting, like, oh, no. And then when the kicks land, they're like, oh, hey. And, the energy is crazy.
Wow.
They never shut up, man. I'm getting hyped thinking about it. Get me back to Thailand right now.
You know, there's some great Thai fighters. I prefer the Thai style because I think there's a real benefit to being really good at the clinch.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to MMA. Real good at the clinch, the knees to the body, the elbows in the clinch. And kickboxing doesn't allow elbows or knees to the body. But we've seen world-class kickboxers that have come on, like Krokop, that have had tremendous success in MMA, going from kickboxing into MMA.